Bonjour à tous et bienvenue sur la session d'information avec StudiesUP et UTS avec Andrea. Hello Andrea, nice to see you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi to everyone.
Hi. Donc aujourd'hui, on va vous faire une présentation en particulier donc sur UTS et les possibilités d'études en Australie. UTS qui est situé au cœur de la ville. Vous allez voir que UTS est une très belle université qui présente énormément de programmes niveau bachelor, niveau master, ou même si vous souhaitez tout simplement y effectuer un semestre d'études. Je vais laisser la parole à Andrea pour tout ce qui est questions. On va commencer par un PowerPoint et ce sera suivi par des questions-réponses entre nous. Andrea, all yours. Thank you so much again.
Thanks, Anne-Sophie. So today my presentation is just going to touch upon a bit of information about Sydney to give you an idea about what Sydney is all about. Then I'll move on to information about the university, and then I'll give you some ideas about the type of courses that we offer, and of course some practical information. And yeah, it's going to be difficult to answer questions during the presentation, but I'm happy to answer everything once I've run through it all. So, off. Why Sydney? Well, Sydney has been voted one of the most livable cities in the world, also one of the best student cities. It's home to about 5 million people, and you'll find the Sydney-siders, they're really outdoorsy people. So they love to go camping, hiking, playing sports, surfing. And even though we are located in the centre, it's really easy to get out and about. So we've got Bondi Beach. It's about 25 minutes on the bus from the university. You can take the train out to the Blue Mountains. It's about 1.5 hours, absolutely stunning, great for hiking. You can also take the bus to the Hunter Valley, and you can rent some bikes and cycle around the vineyards. And of course, there's lots of things to do in Sydney itself. So I think you get the best of both worlds. I think you can study and live in what I think is one of the greatest cities in the world, but you've also got Australia's nature right on your doorstep. You will experience it is a very diverse city. About 1 in 4 Australians was born overseas. So it really is very multicultural. You can sample food from all over the world. So we have Spice Alley just across the road from us. We've got Chinatown just next door. Lots of sushi hubs if you like sushi. And if you just want to get your sort of your general fruit and vegetables, then we've got Paddy's Market just next door. And of course, there's a lot of supermarkets close by as well. You'll also find that because it is quite cosmopolitan, there's also a lot of international art exhibitions as well going on throughout the year. So as I said, lots of things to do, a lot of free entertainment as well in Sydney because of the type of activities going on. So the university itself is located in the heart of the city. So we're a 5-minute walk to the central station, which is Sydney's major transport hub. So this is where all the buses and the trains come in. We're on the doorstep to the central business district, which is pretty good for our business school students, but we are also located in what is known as Sydney's creative triangle. So anything to do with media, film, television, fashion, the performing arts is all happening around us. And on top of that, about 60% of Australia's startup companies are located within 1 kilometre of the university. So there's a great vibe going on, not only within our university because of our fantastic students, but also because of the creative and innovative environment that we are located within. Now, just to give you a bit of an idea of this, I'm not the tallest of people, I know you can't see that, but from the university to go down to the sort of the Sydney Opera House, it takes me about 35 minutes. This is the Botanical Gardens, great for chilling out at the weekends. You can also take the ferry from here if you want and go over to Manly, which has got lots of bars, lots of cafes. There's a beach over there as well if you want to try something different from maybe Bondi Beach. So again, lots of things to do in the centre. So this will just give you a bit of an idea about the university. We have just over 46,000 students. So that in Australia is a medium to large size university. As you can see here as well, we have nearly 14,000 international students, and these are students doing full degrees with us. And on top of that, we have about 2,000 students that come to us each year just to do maybe 1 or 2 semesters. So not all students want to do a full degree with us. That's perfectly fine. If you just want to come for a short period, maybe 1 or 2 sessions, that's okay with us as well. So when looking at UTS, what can you expect? Well, we are renowned for our excellence in teaching and learning. And here we do receive a lot of awards. You can expect a practice-oriented education. So it's not only theoretical, we have a strong focus on our students getting jobs. So our students will be working in the laboratories, in the different studios. Business students will be doing real life case studies, obviously group work, to give you that practical experience as well. And we do have world-class facilities. I think we spend about $1.3 billion on upgrading our facilities to make sure that we have some of the best teaching and learning environment a university can offer. And of course, we have a lot of industry connections, which is important for our students, but it also makes sure that our courses are relevant in the workplace. And of course, our courses are recognised not only by the Australian government, but also by a lot of the professional associations as well. Now, as I highlighted on one of my previous screens, then we do have a lot of international students. So we also, of course, have a lot of support services should you need any help or assistance during your time with us. So we've got pretty much of a sticky campus, I would say. You don't have to go far to get any assistance or any help. So this slide will just give you an idea of our international reputation. So according to QS, there are number 133 in the world. If you want to look at Times Higher Education, there we're number 143. And I think this is actually a really good result because we are only just over 30 years of age. So we're quite a young university. If you want to look at our rankings in the young universities, so those that are under 50 years of age, they were number 1 in Australia or number 11 globally if you're looking at QS. So, as you can see here, we are a comprehensive university, so we offer a wide variety of disciplines. So even though we've got technology in our name, then we've got business, we have design, so we've got fashion students, visual communication, we have law students, students that are maybe studying nursing or other health degrees, architecture, of course, engineering, IT as well, science and mathematics. Now, throughout all these disciplines, you can take a 4 degrees, that would be your bachelor degree or undergraduate, as we also call it. And you can also do postgraduate degrees. So there you're talking about your graduate certificate, your graduate diploma, or if you want to do a full master. But on top of that, as I said earlier, you can also just do a study abroad program. And if you're interested in study abroad, you can actually mix your subjects between the different faculties. So let's just say you're not quite sure what you want to do and you're looking at maybe coming to us as a part of your gap year. Then if you would like to do maybe 2 subjects in marine biology and maybe a couple of subjects in business, that's perfectly fine. You can mix your subjects as you wish. So I'm not going to go into all the faculties because it will be simply death by PowerPoint for you guys. So what I'm looking at the next few slides is I understand that most of you at the time was interested in business. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about sort of where you can look for subjects if you're a study abroad student, if you're interested in business. I'll also touch on a little bit about science because I understand someone's also interested in biology. But if there's anything that I missed, then I'm happy just to answer your questions as well afterwards. So kicking off with the business school. So this is our business school, as you can see here, designed by Frank Gehry, with students in mind. So that includes oval classrooms to have that interactive discussion in the classroom. Now, the business school is accredited to the AACSB, and there's only about 10% of the business schools in the world that have that accreditation. So it really is a blue stamp for our teaching and learning outcomes. And as you can see here, the business school offers a wide palette of subject areas. So if you're interested in general management, maybe you have an interest in management within sports, events, social enterprise, got marketing, also accounts, economic, finance. If I'm going to talk about where the business school has their strengths, where they really do very well in the rankings, then it would definitely be accounting, economics and finance. But if you have an interest in human resources or just international business, maybe you have an interest in business analytics. So this, where you link your analytical skills with business insights and understanding numbers. Or maybe you'd like to have a little bit of studies in behavioral economics. So this is where you look at human behavior and decision making. You can find a lot of different subjects here. Now, the business school is actually our biggest school, followed by our Faculty of Engineering and IT. So this is one of our very strong areas. I thought I'd also mention the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, primarily because as well, if you are interested in business subjects, you might have a bit of an interest in maybe subjects that has a bit of a communication focus. So you might be interested here, business, media business. You could also maybe look at strategic communication. You'll find lots of different subjects here, digital and social media as well. If you're also then looking at maybe social and political sciences, so if you have an interest in international affairs, this is definitely one of the study areas that you should look, social and political sciences. But also you can have a look at under our School of International Studies and Education. There we have international studies, languages, but also criminology, if that's an area that could be of interest to you as well. So again, have a look around, trying to find what might be of interest to you if you're just looking at some subjects. Master courses, they're pretty much more set in concrete, so you'll just look at our website and find sort of more specifics there. So in our Faculty of Science, obviously science is all about discovery, but I thought at the time I just mentioned this one because there we also have our School of Mathematics and Physical Sciences. So again, if you're interested in maybe in the financial area, you could also find subjects here if you're looking at doing a study abroad program with us. So you've got mathematics, statistics, finance, analytics in this area as well. And also you have an interest in quantitative finance. So students that are interested in doing a study abroad with biology, there you'd be looking at subjects in our School of Life Sciences. And you will find a lot of biological subjects and environmental, but also in marine biology as well. In our School of Life Sciences, they also tend to do field trips. So if you're looking at environmental biology, then you might want to consider taking some subjects where they might go out to the Barrier Reef or maybe to some of the other field stations that we have. So a little bit of an activity outside the university. The Faculty of Science as well, in the life sciences, very practical oriented. We have a super lab, is what you see down here in the bottom right hand corner, that caters for about 200 students. It's one of the few super labs in Australia. But again, this is where you'll be practicing your different skills depending on the study area that you're interested in. I thought I'd also mention the Faculty of Health, and primarily again for those students that might be interested in business subjects where you might be interested in something like sports and exercise science in management. So if you're interested in management studies where you might have an interest in sports and exercise science, then have a look at some of the subjects under our Faculty of Health. So don't just limit yourself to business, just have a look at some of the other areas because you might find some really interesting subjects that you would like to take. So if you're interested in a full degree course with us, so whether it's a bachelor or a master course, then you'll get much more detailed information on our website. We'll just go into the study area of interest and then you'll be able to drill down and see the subjects that are under all those full degree courses. If you're interested in coming to us as a study abroad student, then to help you choose your subjects, what we first suggest is you look at the faculty advising guide. So what we have done from the international office is we've gone to each of the faculties and said, we have a student here that would maybe like to just study with us for maybe 1 or 2 semesters. What kind of subjects do you think would be good for them to consider? So they've put together a guide with just some suggestions. So always start with the faculty advising guides first. And as I said, you'll find these on our website. But you're not restricted to only use these faculty advising guides. If you can't find the subjects of interest to you, then also have a look at the handbook. It requires a little bit more work, but it is well worth looking at the handbook as well. You can also have a look trying to find subjects through our majors or through our sub-majors, and you can also go onto the website and let's just say you have an interest in Bachelor, I've just used this as an example, Bachelor of Economics, or maybe you're interested in Master of Finance, then you can go have a look at the full course review. You'll be able to see the different year, and you'll see under all those different subjects that you'll be able to click on to get an idea whether it's something of interest to you. If you are looking as a study abroad student to get your subjects credited into a home degree in France, and that means that you're already enrolled in a university, it's always best to get the subjects that you're looking to do with us pre-approved by your academic advisors before you put in an application. That will just make it easier for you when you return to France to your home university. If you're looking at coming to us as a part of a gap year, or you're not looking for credit, then you can probably just sort of play around a little bit more and decide which subjects you think would be fun to do. A word of guidance here, just remember that in Australia, the seasons are the opposite. So when you're looking at our subjects, you might see it says autumn, and that means that is our first session. So that would be where you'd be looking at starting in February, March, finishing in June. And if you're looking at coming to us in July, August, which is our second session, finishing around November, then you would be looking for subjects that are offered in our spring session. Okay, so just remember that the seasons are the opposite. So this is just give you a bit of an idea about our campus facilities. This is a typical classroom environment that you'll see at UTS. And obviously we do focus on the overall student experience. So it's not just going to be a place for you to socialize and study, but it's a place where we will encourage informal learning. And by that, we mean there'll be a lot more interactive discussion in the classroom. So you'll have the professor or the tutor or the teacher walking around in between the tables, having that ping pong discussion with you. You'll also have that active discussion between your fellow students. And this then obviously means that you'll be using less time in formal lecture halls where you just be sitting listening to a professor with a PowerPoint presentation. A lot more classroom interactivity. And we found that by moving to this kind of teaching and learning environment is helping our students a lot better with their skills to do problem solving, to build teamwork, but also their network. I thought I'd mention as well, now all our teachers, they have experience from working in industry and also research as well. But we also have what I like to call as a lot of different inspiring leaders, perhaps not your typical teacher type of person. One is Steve Wozniak that we've got, adjunct professor. He primarily works with our artificial intelligence students in the postgraduate area. But we've always got marine biologists now, because we're in the centre of Sydney. Not everybody considers the fact that we also offer marine biology. And there we've got Dr. Emma Camp, who was announced as L'Oreal UNESCO for Women in Science 2020 Fellow, and also Time Magazine Next Generation Leader for 2020. So we have a lot of really inspiring teachers and people that you also have access throughout all the study areas. When looking at a university, always as well check out what kind of scholarships that they have for international students. So as you can see here, we have several scholarships at the undergraduate level. We have a full tuition scholarship. It's worldwide, very, very competitive. But we also have an undergraduate scholarship for European students, where we'll be looking at providing you with a 40% scholarship for the standard duration of the course, and also for IB scholarships as well. If you're interested in postgraduate courses, again, we have full tuition scholarship, very competitive. I think both of these is only about 2 a year. But there are also, again, partial scholarships through academic excellence international scholarships, where you'd be looking at 25 to 35% reduction depending on your grades. But even if you're coming to us as a study abroad student, there we also have scholarships there where we'll be looking at reducing the fees depending on your grades. And we automatically, for this particular scholarship here, I know that we review your application, and if you've got relatively good grades, then you'd be hearing from us saying we would be looking at giving you a study abroad award. Now, I know you're going to get a lot of information from Anne-Sophie before departure, because it's a great service they provide, but you will also be receiving some information from us as well. So a lot of pre-departure information that will just give you an idea of what it's going to be like for you to settle into Sydney. You will be expected to attend orientation. So this is where you get to know the university, what services are available to you, get to know your fellow students and your teachers. But it's also a fun time. So lots of fun activities for you to tap into, make new friends. But it doesn't just stop at orientation. There's also a lot of other programs that we have on offer that you can consider. So let's just say you might have an interest in doing voluntary work, then we have something called Community Connections, and you can tap into that. It's perfectly fine. It's up to you to decide what you would like to do. If you just want to get to know other students, you can do that through conversations at UTS, or also, just pop along for morning coffee at the Network Cafe. So, just when you get to Sydney, just use these facilities. There's lots of things that's available for you just to get to know other students. Because we are located in the centre of Sydney, then we also try to make it as easy as possible for our students. For those that are coming to us just for 1 or 2 sessions, then we do give them housing priority. But students that are looking to do a full degree as well can also apply to our UTS housing. If you are interested in our accommodation, just go on the website. We have 4 residences. You'll see the different residences that we have. And then when the housing office opens, you can put in an application. It is pretty good accommodation. My own daughter's used it. She thought it was great. So she went into a unit that there was sort of 6 bedrooms. They all had their own bedroom. And then with shared facilities like bathroom, kitchen, sitting area. Next to them, there was another unit of a similar nature. We always have residential networkers, and they've all got barbecues, and the residential networkers also arrange fun activities for people living in the residences. But it is a personal choice. Some of our students do prefer to live out at Bondi Beach, and then they, maybe just take the bus when they need to go to lectures, in which case then students would be going into private accommodation. If you're interested in private accommodation, our housing office can give you guidance on what you should do and what you can look at, but they can't take that decision for you. So generally, if you're looking at going into private accommodation, they'll give a guidance on what you will do, and then you'll get to Sydney, and then you'll go out and have a look at the residences or the accommodation that you're interested in doing or taking on board. Now, when you're studying in Australia, you will be looking to get a student visa. And with the student visa, you have work rights. So that is 40 hours across a 2-week period. If you're there for more than 1 semester, you can generally work full-time during the semester break. But while you're studying, the government says maximum 40 hours across a 2-week period. As you can see here, there is a minimum wage in Australia. So I think at the moment it's around just over $20. But in Sydney, you'd probably get a little bit higher salary or hourly rate, around $23, maybe $26 an hour. I always say if you're there just for 1 session, just get into your studies and have some fun. Maybe do some fun activities and a bit of traveling. I also recommend students join a club or 2. It's a great way for you guys to get to know students outside the classroom. Somebody that has a similar social, sporting, or political interest as yourself. I think we've got about 150 clubs, so I think you'll find something of interest. So let's just say you might be playing football where you are at the moment. We call that soccer. You might want to join the soccer team. Maybe you want to learn a new skill. Maybe you want to learn how to surf. Then join the surf club. If you're a study abroad student, if nothing else, then join the study abroad club, because they do a lot of fun activities for their students that are just there for maybe 1 or 2 sessions. So think about joining a club or 2, because it's a lot of fun as well. You'll also find that we have a lot of social spaces on campus. So we have the UTS Loft. This is where they play live music. There's happy hour, very vibrant and a fun place for our students. You can also go, we have the UTS Underground. They've got a sports room or a bit of a club room here. You can chill out over a cold or a hot drink. They also arrange film nights. And we also have a lot of cafes throughout the campus. I think all our faculty buildings have a cafe. Penny Lane is in our Faculty of Engineering and IT. So if you're feeling a little bit hungry or you're a bit thirsty, then you don't really have far to go to get get something to eat or drink. The university as well also has a strong focus on social enterprise, and this is also good for our students. So once a week we've got the night hour noodle bar, and this is where you can go along and get your bowl of noodle soup, and then you just pop the toppings on that you would like. And then the Activate UTS, which is the student union, they've got the Bluebird Brekkie bar that they have twice a week, and this way you can go along and get a free breakfast. And it's not just about saving a few dollars. It's just getting involved with the activities that's going on at the university. So, you know, if you do come to us, just try some of these events that's going on, because it's, again, it'll just add to your experience. Now, I'm giving you some information, but I also recommend students do a little bit of homework themselves, just to get an idea a little bit more about what it's like to study at UTS. So have a look on our website, see what some of our students are saying. If you're looking at coming to us as a study abroad student, we've got a study abroad blog. You get some inspiration about what our students are doing here. You can also ask questions directly to our students through our UTS International Facebook. We also have Chat to UTS students on our website. You might find a student that's studying a study area that's similar to what you're looking at. Ask them questions, ask them what it's like. If you'd like to see a little bit more information about what the university looks like, we have a virtual tour via our website. So if you want to have a look at our gym, you can see that. If you want to have a look at our food hall, you can see that. The alumni green, which is where our students chill out. It'll just give you a better idea of what the university looks like. There's also things like, you know, postgraduate webinars that you can get information about your particular study interest area. And we've also got a lot of course information videos as well on our website that's given by all the different faculties. So use these. If you're a little bit in doubt as to what kind of career you might be looking at doing in the future, then we have a career quiz. I think it's about 3 minutes. Go on the website, give it a go. It might give you an idea of some of the study area that you might want to consider. Not that you have to stick by it, but it could just give you some ideas in that area. And that's about it for me. I said I'll answer some questions now, but after the session today, obviously, if you have any inquiries, then just have a chat to Anne-Sophie. She will be for her first port of call.
Thank you very much, Andrea. That was really, really nice. And I wish we could all go to UTS right now. Anyone's having questions? Maybe, Andrea, maybe if you want to give any updates on maybe right now, we are mid-November as we speak, about the borders, and maybe to brief anyone there could be a good idea, knowing that the students that are with us today are more likely to be looking at July 2022 or February 2023. So yes, thank you.
So we pretty much know that, or we don't know 100%, but certainly for students just looking at coming to us for maybe 1 or 2 semesters, so study abroad, we are hopeful that the borders will be open for them as per July, August intake next year. We still haven't got confirmation, but New South Wales has commenced a pilot program, which will start in December. And I think it's the 6th of December where we're looking at bringing back our sort of current students that got caught overseas. So they have our first priority in bringing them back to Australia. So those are currently enrolled with us. So we will be bringing those back as much as we can as of December and as the government allows. Hopefully once the pilot plan has proved to be successful, then we'll be able to see more planes coming in with our students. But I would probably say, I mean, if the borders open quicker, we might, although I'm not that confident that full-degree students could start in February, March. I think it's going to be a little bit tight with how things are at the moment, but we are certainly hopeful that July, August, we'll be able to receive full students again, be it full-degree students or study abroad.
Perfect. Thank you for that. I think Tara's got a question.
Yes, I have a question.
Go for it.
So I don't remember if you had talked about this, but what is the requirement or to apply for a master?
For a master,
yes.
Yeah, it
Yes,
will
ma'am.
depend on your bachelor degree. So some of our master courses are quite open, so they might not necessarily require that you've studied the discipline before. So this could be if you're looking at a career change. It could well be, for example, if you're looking at a Master of Finance, then my guess I'd have to look at our entry requirements, but my assumption would be that you would have had to have studied finance in your bachelor. So it really depends on what you've studied beforehand. We would also be looking at things like English language proficiency, so that you've done an IELTS or a TOEFL test, things like that. So it really depends on the type of master program you are interested in. If it's for study abroad, then generally if it's a gap year student, then as long as you would be sort of, to give an idea of getting into the university in France, then we will be looking, that will be okay for us. If you are currently studying at a university in France, then we'd be looking at you have the minimum scale of ECTS C, or I think that's 11 on the French grading scale,
Yes.
if I remember right.
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
So, oui, dans les conditions d'admission, ça va être votre dossier académique concrètement et le niveau linguistique. And for the English requirement, Andrea, there is also an option with you guys to be able to start with some English if someone doesn't have the right level of English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Particularly if it's, I would say, if you're looking at the study abroad, we also have Australian culture and languages. So some students might prefer to take some subjects in that area because the English requirements are a little bit lower. Yeah.
Perfect. Any other questions? Anyone? On a parlé donc de la possibilité de pouvoir travailler en Australie grâce au visa étudiant pour avoir un job en parallèle des cours. Donc, c'est vrai que ça peut vous permettre de couvrir une majorité de vos frais de vie sur place. Donc, ça, c'est pas du tout négligeable. Donc, c'est vrai que la destination de l'Australie pour cela est très intéressante. Aussi, peut-être, Andrea, maybe we can speak about the teaching, because we've got in Australia, you've got a lot less contact hours, teaching hours compared with France. So maybe if we can just mention maybe that would be good. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you will have a various assignments. Generally, before getting to class, you'll probably have some assignments that you will need to look at. And this is all about our teaching or our way of teaching, in that we like students to be prepared so that when you're in the classroom, it's all about learning more directly. So you're not just getting information from the teacher, that you'll be a little bit more on board with things so that you get more out of the lectures or the teachers as well. There is generally not one final exam. So when you're looking at subjects, you will find that there's probably several assessments for that subject that will give you your overall grade. So it could well be that the first assessment might be a 5-10 minute quiz, and that just gives the teacher a bit of an idea of how you're progressing. Then there might be a second assessment. That could be an individual assignment or a group work. There could be a third assessment and a fourth assessment, or it could well be the third assessment is your final exam as a part of your overall grade. That might weigh 50%, and maybe the individual assignment or the group assignment could be 40%. So it's not generally just one exam. You'll also find that before coming to us, you'll be asked to set your own timetable. So there you'll get information on how to set your own timetable. And if you're like my daughter, she didn't want to go to university every day. She had a day where she wanted to just focus on her assignments, and then maybe at the time she was looking at getting a part-time job. And that's possible as well. So you'll find that a lot of the subjects are offered throughout the week. So she only went to university, I think, 3 days during the week. So she had 3 longer days and then 2 days where she could fit in the other activities that she wanted to do. And you can consider doing that as well. Other students, they might want to go every day. So you'll be looking at doing your own timetable, and of course then you just need to go to your lectures as you need to, and you'll also find that our teachers and professors, they have very much an open door policy. So if you ever need to discuss anything, it's really easy to talk to our teachers outside of the classroom. You'll also find that a lot of faculties do tutor sessions. So if you need that extra assistance, maybe through some extra tutoring, then they have drop-in places, and you'll have the tutors at hand that will help you as well. So a lot of supports, if you need that.
And it's true that the fact that it's quite flexible in terms of timing, that allow them to have a job on the side or extra activities. And it's true, it's nice because in France, we so much into a preset calendar that for French students to come to you guys, it's a bit different and quite flexible, which is actually quite nice. Yes.
Yeah, but as a part of the student visa, if there is a lecture, you need to go to that lecture. So, and this is that can be in some regions here in Europe. That hasn't always been the case, so they might think they can do the same as they do in their own country, where they don't necessarily have to go to lecture. They'll just swap the books that they've been told to read and then they just go to their exam. It is a little bit different, so you do need to go to your lectures. And as I said, it's not just one exam, you will have several assessments. So again, a lot more flexibility. But yeah, you do have time to do other things as well. But I said, if you're only there for one session, then just get into it, maybe do some fun activities, travel a little bit as well, if you've got a term break, But some students do want to get a job, and that's perfectly fine too.
Which is nice as well to put on the CV, on the resume.
Yeah.
So,
it is, and as a university, we cannot guarantee a student will get a job, but we do, we have a careers office. They list companies that are looking for part-time employees or temporary employees. You can work on campus or off campus, so it's not like the US where you can only work on campus. So a lot more flexibility there as well, and that if some students just get out and find a job as well. And our experience is those students that want to find a job, they generally find a job if they really want to.
That's true. I agree. If you're motivated, you find one. Especially in Sydney. I mean, there is so many. Especially
in Sydney,
there are so many cafes, restaurants, and you're right in the heart of Sydney. You're super well located, so I think it's there is no excuse not to find a job. We'll put it that way. Anyone else got any questions? Any specific questions you may have? We covered the scholarship as well. I think it's just wonderful. We've been working with UTS for all these years, and I've never seen such a nice scholarship offered. So I think it's a very good excuse to go and study at UTS, actually. It's got so much to offer. You can see the campus is just wonderful. The location is great. It covers nearly all the fields, all different areas. So I think it's just a wonderful experience. And myself, I visited UTS several times, and you mentioned, Andrea, the accommodation. I think your accommodation is just wonderful. It's really it's really modern, and a nice way to settle in quickly and to make friends who you haven't been in class with. So I think it's a good way as well to interact and make friends quite quickly.
Yeah, and just to give an idea, when my daughter went into the accommodation, she actually didn't know anybody that was there either. And she was sharing a unit where there was 3 guys and 3 girls. If you have a preference where you just want to share with girls or guys, you can actually write that in your application. She didn't care. And she was sharing with a girl from Germany, a girl from Sweden. And I think there was 2 Australian guys and then a guy from Japan.
Easy,
So it was, she really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun still.
Lovely.
And I think as well, one thing might be useful too, that if any of your students listening today, if you'd like to have an approximate indication of the living costs in Sydney, then we've got that on our website. So you'll find that pretty easy under Study Abroad. It will just give you an idea of the cost of living in Sydney. Obviously, how much you eat, it is only a guideline, is a personal choice, but we're saying, well, students in Sydney, they probably need around $100 a week, and that's around 5 euros.
Yeah.
It will just give them a bit of an idea of their budget requirements when looking at Sydney.
Sure. Anyone else? Any specific question, maybe on the program you're thinking of, or maybe of the living over there? Do you have any further questions, anyone? Flavie, je vois que ton micro est ouvert. Est-ce que tu avais une question? Non.
Non. Oui.
Pas de souci. Léo, Tara, vous avez peut-être des questions. Profitez-en d'avoir Andrea à nos côtés. On a beaucoup de chance, donc profitez de poser toutes vos questions. N'ayez pas peur. On est là pour ça, pour répondre. Donc, Tanita, il n'y a pas d'autres questions non plus?
Non, c'est bon.
C'est bon, ok. Bon, je pense qu'Andrea a bien couvert de toute façon tous les différents points. Donc, Andrea, do you have anything else to add on? I think you covered truly a lot of things today. So I think now it's
and if there is anything, I'm more than happy to answer anything else. If somebody thinks, oh, I should have asked that, and you can't answer it, then just click me an email.
No worries.
If anybody wants a one-on-one as well, then I can we can
For
easily
sure.
sort that out as well, and then I'll just pass them back to you.
That's great.
Yeah.
Last round, otherwise we will finish. We will record this presentation and we'll put it on our YouTube channel. So once it's uploaded, I will inform you, all of you, so you can replay. And if you've got any question after that, you can always get in touch with us. Thank you so much, Andrea. Merci beaucoup, Andrea.
Thank you.
It was lovely
Catching up.
It was lovely, yes, to catch up and get in touch with you until we see each other again physically. And merci à tout le monde, merci de votre participation. Et n'hésitez pas, si vous avez la moindre question, on prend contact. Donc, on vous dit à très, très vite et bonne journée à tout le monde.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Merci, à bientôt.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.